Another frustrating stuff that that I remember in high school, when you leave your family and you live outside your family, I mean, that you discover the world. I made a video about a quote of Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who was a French philosopher, when he said, "We were born good by nature, but society corrupt us." This is a quote of Jean-Jacques Rousseau. I like this quote a lot because, yeah, I made a video about that. Well, like I explained that actually we were not born good by nature, okay, but society corrupt us. Society change us, okay. And another situation that I remember in high school, that in high school is even start when you start seeing some stuff that you don't necessarily understand, you know, like explain to you the injustice, the way we were not treated fairly by the professor. But in the that high school where I was, there was a student who had a specific status, and I never understood. We never, I mean, many like me didn't really understood what was his status. Okay, um, it was a student. He was a student. You know, we had different branches. In the French uh, education program. In high school, I don't know if it's the same thing somewhere else. It's like somewhere else. It's like we have different branches. There is an exam that we do at a certain level of your high school, and then the people of education in the school, they decide, we judge by your grades that you are good in science. Okay, they will send you in the field of the branch of science. In science, you have what? Physics, chemistry, mathematics, hard mathematics, all this. And after the high school diploma, where you will head. You will head to what? Engineering and such like that, and such and such. You know what I mean? You have field for biology, geology, stuff like that. Okay? And then you have field for those, or the branch of those who are in literature. Okay, like in literature, it means that you do something like philosophy, French. You have at least one, two, three languages: philosophy, French, Spanish, English. You have other. You have mathematics, but not the high level like those who are in science. I think you see what I mean. We have the branch of economics, those who are going to learn the principle of economy in high school. You have all these classes together, but the level of coefficient will be different. And you have those who are in the branch of languages the most. So all these people, for example, those who are in languages the most, will have a career later in diplomacy and such like that. Those who are um, in biology, no, in how do we say that, literature, philosophy, they usually go to psychology later on, where they go to university to study laws and stuff like that. Those who are in economics, you understand that they will do like something like business, economy, and such like that. And you have those who are in biology, geology. You know what it means. You're gonna be doctors. You're gonna be studying. So it doesn't necessarily determine, but that's basically how it worked. Okay, so you will not be a student in this branch and find yourself suddenly, out of the sudden, after the blue, sorry, in another branch. No, it wasn't possible. But that student, he was the semester. We don't change classes anyhow. We have the same classes. Okay, you don't be in the class, the different, not different classroom. But if you go from a classroom to another classroom in the school, like if he was in the classroom that year, the classroom of science, The semester later, he found himself in the classroom of biology, which could be a little bit possible. Okay, sometimes it can happen, but not every time. But he saw that every year he was going to one class, the class that prepared the high school diploma, and then the semester after he go backward. Then the semester after he goes to another class, which is another branch, and then he prepared the high school diploma, and then after that he going backward the class. So it was very confusing. I was in the branch of literature, math, literature, and stuff like that. I went to visit my classmate who was in economics because I wasn't in economy at all. So one day we were talking in front of the door of the classroom. Then the guy came out because the semester before I saw him in the branch of science. He came out, da, 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 da. And I asked my classmate, is he in your classroom? She said, yeah, he's in my classroom. I was like, do you remember he was in the she said, yeah. And I say, he found himself in this classroom? And she said, you don't know, it was also in literature last semester. I say, really? So he just switched classroom like the way he wants? And she told me, actually, he has a special studies in this school. I say, really? And actually, that was true. He was really comfortable going to the office of the principal. He was constantly going to the office of different people in charge of the school, even to the secretary, the accountant. He'll be sitting there in their office, talking with them about I don't know what, and he will leave the office. And we didn't really know what was his status in the high school, and to the point where I mean, if you are coming to my high school, you are going to my high school. You could not miss this guy. Everybody knew when you ask question, who is there? We say the guy. Na, 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 na. Everybody knew. We never knew what was his status in school. We never knew. And one day, one of the classmates who was already in school for a long time before me, she told me no, he even know the other principal, the former principal, before he saw maybe two or three principal. I was like, what? So how long has he been in this school? She told me, we don't know, we found him here. He had a specific place in the compound of the school. He had, you saw that some professors didn't like him, but they were like, they could do nothing, you know. One day she showed me where he was staying. He was staying like an apartment because they were the other side of the school, the high school. There were the part where there were professors who were staying. Usually those who were not coming from the country or out of the town. They had the contract with the high school, so we stay in some apartment that the school made. And that guy, he was living in the comfort of like a professor, but he wasn't a professor. The students were in a dormitory, living like student at dormitory. He didn't have the life of a dormitory, he had the life of a student. It was special. We never saw that. And I'm not gonna give many stuff on that story because there were things that happened in my high school and we question the activities if the guys was not involved. That's when you see that, in life, everything is not always how you understand things. So how can someone can be living and having a special studies in the school? We didn't know who he was, what he was doing. We didn't know. We didn't know. Even he could negotiate. We have some classmates. You have sometimes some classmates who were never coming to classrooms, but happened to be a student without being in the classroom. Sometimes, I mean, how did you see? How did you know? Because the professor were calling them. but they're never in the classroom. Sometimes they will just come one day, how are you? And such. And you ask question, they, the uniform is still like perfect. Like, when someone doesn't come to school, the uniform is still new, brand new, because it doesn't come to school or she doesn't come to school. And when they were in trouble for a situation that they couldn't handle, they were in the classroom, but they expect to have A. It wasn't difficult for them. They were going to that student. That student was happy in a way, maybe, I don't know. And you have students who are not coming to class but had A's. And they sometimes even have exams without being in the classroom. So you who were coming, you who were coming to class every day, doing your homework every day, you struggle because there are classes that you didn't necessarily understand. Sometimes you have A, sometimes you have B, sometimes you have C, sometimes you can even have D if you didn't get it. Okay? But someone doesn't come to class, and then you see his name or her name, she has A. That's how you learn that life is not always like, you understand that even in high school, you already understand that there are systems, okay? There are privilege. There are, and these kind of people like that, they probably pass classes after classes because maybe people are helping them. You don't know how it works. But then they go working, and when they work, what happened? Only God knows. So when they work, what happened? They become people working in society after doing this system, you know. It's, it makes you, students like us, for example, when we were young, students like us, for example, it really, it was really heartbreaking. It was fun because you're like, why am I struggling? Why am I working hard? For that, if someone just come and sometimes doesn't come and just have an A without them being in the classroom. And you have professors who are doing it, some of them who probably are forced to do it because there are people who have a specific status in the, no, it's incredible, you know. That student, I never forgot him. He even say one day that we are all students together, we are all wearing uniform, but we don't have the same price. That was true. We don't have the same price because he had another price that we were, you know. Anyway, just something to talk about.